Hello, hello. Hey, West Side Abo. Hello to my lurker. Here is your coin, sir. Hey, Richard. So there you go. Hopefully West Side was in front of this computer to actually see that. Or his phone or whatever. So how is everybody? That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, my best friend passed away when he was in his 30s. My best friend before him was killed when he was 19. I'm sorry to hear that, man. So I'm gonna get a little bit yet, see if we can get some more folks on. It was up to 5 for a second. I guess someone popped in and then changed their mind. Oop, hey, we're at 6. Yeah, so for anybody who didn't catch it, sorry about it being on a weird night again. Yesterday was Angela's birthday, so that's why we're on tonight. What's the news in Tucson? Well, weather's getting hot again. It's supposed to be over 100 on Sunday. Other than that, city's getting crazy. Murder rate is way up. The usual. I don't know what exactly is going on out there, but for the longest time, we averaged, I think it was 43 murders a year, which, you know, that's still bad, but, you know, Tucson's not that big of a city. I think our population is only like 260,000. But lately it's like, especially for like the past 8 months or so, we're averaging 3 every 2 days. Yet our city council and our police are trying to say, oh, violent crime isn't up. Like, yeah, you're full of crap. Yeah, and it's just going to get worse. America is not doing well right now. Oh, I would imagine, because that's a huge city. Yeah, sometimes I think they just say that to try and save face. But yeah, hopefully we get a good turnout tonight for being on an odd night. Got some really good stuff tonight too. So hopefully we'll get some folks in. Finally got some barber stuff in. I haven't had barber stuff in a while. Hey, Doug. Yeah, and I know that's always part of it. Is it, that there is more going on, or is it just that you're seeing it more because of more coverage and more people with cameras and all that fun stuff? Plus here in Tucson, we're 350 police officers short for what our police force is actually supposed to be. And with a lot of the stuff that's gone on in recent years, less and less people want to be cops. Same with the military. Military recruitment's way down too. I agree with you, Richard. And hopefully we can make it through it. And things this month have already taken a bad turn for us because our state insurance that we've been on for years apparently decided that Angela makes like $400 more than she actually does. I don't know how they came up with that number. But because of that, they took her insurance away. So right now she has no insurance. YouTube never knows how many people are on. YouTube doesn't know what the heck's going on. But as a lot of you know, she has cervical dystonia, and just the medications that she has to do alone are about $80,000 a year. And since the tariffs got put in She's had some of her medications have tripled in price. So it's probably closer to like 100,000. So we were doing the math on it, and even if she can get on her insurance from her work, the co-pays for everything that she has to do just to be able to function are more than what we make in a year. So she's working right now on trying to appeal that. And in the meantime, we're trying to figure out what the heck we're going to do. Fun. Hey, showing back up to 6 again. Give it a few more minutes. Hopefully we'll get a couple more folks in. Then we'll get the beginning stuffs out the way and get this thing going. Got a couple of things to go over before we get going. But I want to try and have a few more folks on before going through it all. So enough about me. How you guys doing? Anybody got anything interesting going on? Heat wave starting today. Yeah, I hear it, Bo. Yeah, there's definitely a huge fluctuation of temperatures across the U.S. right now. Yeah, some places are baking, some places are getting tornadoes and floods, and some places are still getting snow. Down to 39 and then mid-60s tomorrow. I wouldn't mind that. We're creeping back up to the hundreds. You know, people always talk about, oh, the winters in Tucson must be great. And like, yeah, for the most part, they are. But if you're going to be here, you have to also deal with the summers. And not so much. You know, if you like 115 degree heat, then yeah, this is the place for you. Get the blizzards. We get blizzards of dust. That's what we get. There have been 4 times since I've lived in Tucson, which I've been here for 28 years, that we've gotten enough snow that it actually stuck to the ground. And it was all melted away within like a day and a half. Like up in the mountains, yeah, they get some pretty heavy snow up there, but down here, no. Not in the Dust Bowl. All right, I'm just going to give it a couple more minutes, then we got to get this thing going. Hopefully we'll just get more people jump in as we go. You know of a sales director from Disney that moved to Tucson several months ago? He couldn't find somewhere better? Oh yeah, prices are definitely going up here. Definitely. Still not as bad as some places, though. We still have if you're looking to buy land, we still have the second cheapest land in the U.S. after New Mexico. Which is what we're hoping to do someday. Alright, gonna go ahead and get the beginning stuff out the way. Alright, for anybody new, payments made via PayPal. Use cheapskatecoins@gmail.com and use goods and services only, please. We also have Cash App using the same email. Cheapskatecoins@gmail.com. If you use Cash App, it will say Louis Gachera. That's me. You are in the right place. Be right back. Thanks for the warning. Shipping is $6 to $23. $6 being the purple bubble mailer, $23 being a large flat rate box. If you want your package registered, there is an additional $35 charge on top of that. It's the only way you can ensure your coins all the way through the mail. If you do go registered, remember you will have to sign for it when it arrives. And we do hold packages. If you want your package held to fill it up, maximize your shipping, just let us know. I always recommend shoot us an email just to be sure. So that way, if it flies by in chat, we didn't see it, whatever. But that's why I say send an email. And we'll hang on to your package until either it fills all the way up or you just tell me, I can't wait anymore, ship it. If you're new, you can get stuff by the end of the night. Or you can get stuff tonight. You just have to email us by the end of the night. There we go. Email has to have your personal info, shipping info, your channel name, which payment method you're going to use, PayPal or Cash App, and what email you use for that payment method for invoicing purposes. If we don't get that email, you will not get anything, and we never ship without payment. And as always, make sure you guys look down in our description below for the rest of our rules and policies. Here's our Facebook link. Tonight's lot list is on there. It is the top post. If you're on Facebook, go give us a follow. We do put our lot list on there every week. We have a sale. We also have a mailing list. If you want to be on the mailing list, shoot me an email, cheapskatecoins@gmail.com, and say add me to the mailing list. If you're on the mailing list, you'll get the lot list at least a couple days before every sale. And then you will have the ability to pre-purchase items from that list as soon as it hits your email. It's first come, first serve, just like our sales. So if you want something, don't wait, jump on it. Also, we do not charge for pre-sales right away. We wait until the end of the after we do the sale and then invoice everybody together. And of course, once we post the lot list on the day of the sale, anything that went in pre-sale has been removed from that list. So what's on there is what is available. So, all right. Yeah, drink real quick. Hang on. All right, a couple things real quick before we get going. First off, so I have my photo of Angela up tonight because yesterday was her birthday. And and this is totally true. She asked me to tell you guys, if you guys want to do something for her birthday, make tonight a sellout. I'm not making that up. She actually told me to tell you that. So I did. And then confirmed on the consignment sale that's coming up, it is for sure going to be on Tuesday the 20th. That is Tuesday the 20th. So make sure you guys keep that in mind. It's going to be a big one. There's a lot of really good stuff in there. And I will continue to remind you guys as we go, as I always do when we do the streams. Also, some point before the next stream, I will jump on and do the monthly loot giveaway for last month for anybody who got something. So we will get that giveaway happening. Alrighty. Got some people finally jumping in. That's good. Alright, so kicking off. Yeah. Alright, so less banknotes tonight than normal. We only have 6. And it's actually only 3 because each one there's 2 of each. So first one is the 2014 100 Riles from Cambodia. $2 each. They're both uncirculated. Oop. Oh, camera's way too low for banknotes. Going up. That's a little better. Anybody? $2 a piece. Alright, moving on. Next one up, also 2 available. These are the 2008 through 2019 design. Oh, I just showed the wrong ones. These are out of order. Hey, Moosox. Okay, so the ones that I just showed are the 1 Togrogs. I showed those out of order. That was my bad. So these are the ones that I just showed. That's the 1 Togrogs. So the one before that that I linked was these. These are the Cambodia ones. So these are the 2014 100 Rial Cambodias. Anybody on these? $2 each, uncirculated. All right, moving on. And then the last two are 1992 25 rubles from Belarus. Speaking of moose, there's a moose. Again, uncirculated at $2 each. Moose Socks has been in a moose. You got it, sir. Richard's been in the other moose. You were too late, Westside. Moose Socks got one, Richard got the other. Westside can have it? Alright, Westside, Richard is letting you have the other moose. So, Moose Socks and Westside for the moose. Alright, so if anybody wants those other banknotes, let me know. The Mongolia and the Cambodia. They will be here. All right, next up, medallions. Got some medallions tonight. Some silver, some not silver. Starting off with the not silver. 1776 Continental Currency Medallion. Going for $4. Hey, Philip. I would love to own one of the old chain cents someday, but I don't see that happening. Anybody? All right, moving on to the 1974 American Revolution Bicentennial John Adams Medallion. This would be the bronze version. Make sure to point that out because we do have the silver version also coming up tonight. You just realize you're drinking moose head too. Talking to Moose Socks, bought a moose banknote, and you're drinking moose head. A lot of moose in your life. All right, moving on. All right, next one. There's a little bit of John Adams going to Moose Socks. Our next one has a little bit of numismatic value. Say John Adams is your great-great-grandfather? Cool. This is a medallion from the San Francisco Mint. Treasury Department, United States of America. San Francisco Mint. (1874 to 1937). So this is the original the original San Francisco Mint there. Anybody? You've been to 1776. You got it, sir. Replica going to Doug. It's probably as close as you and I'll ever get to owning that one, right? Having a replica of it. All right, moving on. All right, and then the last non-silver medallion. This is an awesome piece for people who like to collect military memorabilia. This is the 130th Engineer Brigade Command Coin of Excellence. Also known as a challenge coin. So, if you were one of the members of this unit, and your CO ever walks up and tells you to answer your challenge, you better have that thing in your pocket and be able to pull that thing out. Or you're going to be doing a lot of push-ups. I do have some wiggle room on this one if anybody wants it, but I'd like to get $10 out of it. These things go for, like, the cheapest one I found online was like $20. Otherwise, you owe him a moose head. You didn't know that? Yeah, that's what command coins are. If you ever hear, or challenge coins. So if you ever hear somebody talk about a military challenge coin, that's what they mean. I don't know if they still do it in today's military, but back in the day they did. All right, moving on. If anybody decides you want either of those, let me know. Silver medallion time. I've got American Wildlife Series, Historic Colorado Mining Elk. Not a moose, it's an elk. 3 9s fine silver. It is 0.7 ounces of silver weight. Going for $30. Silver went up a bit, so that That might be actually right around melt or just a little bit under now. I don't know. Let me see real quick. See, live silver price right this second, 32.70. Let's see how close to melt this thing is. 32.7 times 0.7. Okay. Little farther over than I thought it would be. So the melt value on it would be 22.89 if I did the math right. Still a cool piece though. Anybody? All right, moving on. All right, next one up, we got two available. These are from 1973. These are the Sam Adams and Patrick Henry American Revolution Bicentennial Silver Medallions. 925 sterling silver. There is a full ounce of silver weight in these. And they're going for $42 each. Two available. Man, nobody. For like 3 years, people kept asking me, get the silver versions, get the silver versions. Now I've had them. Nobody wants them. All right, moving on. Next up, here you go, Moose Socks. 1974 American Revolution Bicentennial John Adams 925 sterling silver proof medallion. So there is the silver version to your bronze version of your great-great-grandfather. Side bend. Going to Moose Socks. I mean, you can't get the bronze version and not get the silver version, right? Especially since it's family. Next up, 1977 American Revolution Bicentennial Founding Fathers, State of Hawaii. Again, 925 sterling. It has 1 ounce of silver weight, and again, it is $42. How would I target? I had no idea that was your great-great-grandfather. moving on. And last medallion is American Revolution Bicentennial, Minnesota. 95 sterling. This one is 0.87 ounce silver weight. It's a burnish finish and 35 bucks. I don't know what Minnesota has to do with the American Revolution, but there it is. If anybody wants a package deal for all these to help Angela out with her birthday wish of a sellout, I can do a little bit of a package deal on them. All right, moving on. Oops. All right, coinage. All right, first 4 lots are some of the old 10 British large cent bundles for 10 bucks. Hopefully these are in order. First one is. All right. Bundle number 1 is 1908. So you're getting some King Edward. Then 1913. 1919. 1936, 45, 47, 62, 64, 65, and 67. Anybody? $10 for the bundle, $1 a coin. And going to Richard Gratzer. All right, bundle number 2. Got 1908. That's in pretty decent condition for an Edward. 1916. 1919. 1920. 1936. That's like an EF. 1946. This one's going to Doug. 48. 62. 5 and 7 are your last two coins. There you go, Doug. All right, bundle number 3. On this one, your Edward is a 1907. And a 1908. So you got two Edwards in this one. 1918. 21. 37. 48. 62. 64. 66. And 67. Anybody on this one? All right, moving on. Oh, going to Richard. All right, and the final bundle. 1908 for your Edward. Also a 1909 for Edward. So another two Edward bundle. 1918. 21. 37. And this one's also going to Richard. Congrats, sir. This one you're also getting a 46, a 62, 4, and 6 and 7. Congrats. All right. World Silver. Kicking off is Britain. So the 1883 3 pence went in pre-sale. So we are kicking off with a fish scale. So the first one is the 1886 3 pence. Or, nope, that's the wrong one. That's the one that went pre-sale. Oh, nope, that isn't. Okay. This is the right one. It's the 83 that went in pre-sale. Or the, yeah. So this thing wasn't bent. This would be like a $25 coin. But because it is, I got a price as a good at $4. So if anybody's looking for a cheap filler for an 1886 3 pence, here you go. Almost looks like it got shot with a BB or something. Well, still a good coin. Still 925 sterling silver, just has a bend. And going to Doug. Congrats, Doug. Doug beat you on that one by a hair, Richard. Next up, $1,900. 95 sterling and good. Another Victoria. Going for $4. Anybody? Go to Doug. Rush Doug. All right, now we're getting into some much nicer ones. 1918 AU for 12. Get out of my way, bar. Get out the way. Check that out. That is a beautiful coin. Anybody at $12? 1918 in AU, going to Richard Gratzer. Next up, 1942. This one is a BU. NGC list on this coin is 65. I'm doing it for 28. Less than half of list. This thing is stunning. Right, camera is not doing this coin justice. Whoever gets this, when you see it in your hand, you're going to be like, wow. Going to Richard Gratzer. That one might actually be grade worthy. Then next up, 1944 AU. It's one of the better years. NGC list is $60. I'm doing it for 25. That's almost a third of list. Anybody? Going to Richard Gratzer. Right, next one I did on the cheap side because it does have some scratches on the reverse. It is an 1893 sixpence. Queen Victoria. So because of the scratches, I'm doing it for $5. If those scratches weren't there, it would have been closer to 15. Plus, it's like really rare I ever get Victoria sixpences. Go to Doug. All right. Next up. Doug, would you send me that last email? Did you ask me about the South Africa? You did? Okay, I lied. It's still available. Do you still want it? I thought originally when I looked that it was sold. Okay, I'll put your name on it. Wanted to make sure since you did email that you got first whack at it still. So, all right. All right, so that takes us to Canada. First coin of Canada is another one that's on the cheap because it is hold. It's a fine, but its price is a good because it's hold. It is the 1901 5-cent. If it didn't have that hold, this would be like a $30 coin. It's actually double hold. So somebody wore this as a necklace at some point. So you're getting a heck of a deal because of those holes. $5. It could be another Christmas ornament for you, Doug. If you actually do that, I want to see a picture of your Christmas tree at some point. All right, moving on. Wow, first silver coin that nobody wants. All right, on to 10 cents. The 02H and the 06 went in pre-sale, so we are on the 1910. $9.25 sterling silver and good for $8. King Edward. Anybody? We're getting a little bigger tree. Was using a desktop size. All right, moving on. Next up, somebody better grab this thing. Because this is awesome. 1935 Canadian dollar. Not. Okay, the silver on that's wrong. It's actually 80%. It's not 925. Let me fix that. There we go. 80% silver. 1935. It is a BU. Only 428,000 of these were minted. Well, 428,707. And it's going for 75 bucks. Anybody? Somebody better grab this thing. This is gorgeous. Wow, really? Nobody? I was honestly amazed this thing even made it to at a pre-sale. I guess Richard was looking at it for too long. He's like, yeah, I'm going to grab it. Why not? Going to Richard. All right, and last of Canada for tonight. Quite possibly the most popular Canadian coin. The 1958 Death Dollar. 80% silver, BU, 35 bucks. And of course, that's why it's called the Death Dollar. Because they apparently decided putting a death totem on the coin was a good idea. Hey, Aaron. Anybody? This is also a centennial coin. 1858 to 1958. It was a long day. All right, moving on. Are you still out on the road, or are you actually back at home again? Because aren't you like out in Alaska doing work or something? All right, these next two coins, these are coins I've never had. It's the first time I've ever had these available. Yeah, Bo, I can do 30 on it. Death Dollar going to Bo for 30. Back home for a while. I'm making my final trip to Alaska in a week. Be up there for another 10 days. How to tear down a kitchen a contractor messed up and put it all back together, including the structural beams. 3 trips, 10 days. Hopefully you're getting paid well enough for the travel costs too. So all right, yeah, these two I have never had these two available before. 2002 12 euro from Spain. 925 sterling silver. It is BU and $25. Juan Carlos and Sofia. Anybody? First time ever coin. Yeah, and the little thing right there. I don't know if I can show it on camera or not. Sort of right there. If you move it just right, it's got the O2 in it. That's part of its counterfeiting feature. All right. And then also got the 2004. So you got one angle, it's an M, another angle, it's the 04. Got some little kid outside screaming bloody murder. So again, 925 sterling silver BU, $25. 12 euro. Anybody? By the way, if anybody's wondering, just the melt value on these alone is $17.56. All right. Moving on. No love for the silver euros. Next up is the 1966 Bahama dollar. 80% silver BU. 406,000 minted. $22. Got kind of a cool toning on the backside. It's getting that copper patina. Copper conch shell. Anybody? All right, moving on. To the 1900 1/4 golden. 64% silver, VG, $10. Going to Doug. Congrats, Doug. Here's a better view of the obverse. All right, next up, got one more of these in this week. 1780X Thala, Austria. 83.3% silver, BU. $35. It was Richard got it last week. Anybody else want one? Anybody? All right, moving on. Next up, this is another one that I was amazed actually made it through pre-sale. 1809 6 Cruiser, German state of Bavaria. 33.3% silver, VG, $15. That is an old coin, folks. So 1809, that would be what? $216 years. And going to Richard Gratzer. All right, on to the USA Philippines. All right, so the 10 centavo that was the nearly split die went in pre-sale. I could have sold like 4 of them in pre-sale if I would have had them, because a lot of people were interested in that one. Twas West Side that actually landed it. Oh, by the way, West Side, did you want to see that real quick? So this was it. This is West Side's coin now. But you can see up there in the top, starting it states the die crack running down. And then you can see it down there at the bottom by the date running up. And it almost connects. If you look at it very closely, you can still see it right under the Like right there, you can still barely see it. And then there's another spot right there. You can just see it. So that's why I called it a nearly split die, because at this point, the die that made this thing was about to break in half. So Westside is now the proud owner of that coin. But I do have another 44D 10 centavo that's an AU and toned. Going for $4. Here's a cheap little toner for you, Westside, if you're interested. If you want to get another one. You can kind of see it in the scope. You can see like the oranges and the red down at the bottom. That's upside down. Yeah. Any takers? $4. All right, moving on. Then we've also got a 45 Denver. That is EF toned for $4. Tell you what, anybody wants the 44 and the 45, I'll do both of them for $6. Makes them $3 each, saves you $2. And Doug's taking that deal. Congrats, sir. Couple of toners. Going to Doug. All right, and I realize I do have another 44D toner. If anybody wants it, it's still available. It's $4. All right, and then 20 centavos. All right, so 44Ds, I have 4 available. Three of them are EF, 2 of the EFs are toned, and then 1 is an AU. The EFs are $5 a piece, whether you get the tone or not, and the AU is $6. So here is toner number 1. Here is toner number 2. Here is the regular one. Still kind of toned, I guess. And then here is the AU. So anybody on any of these 20 centavos, 44Ds? I'll do a bundle deal for all of these if anybody wants all of them. Do all four for 16 bucks. Makes it $4 each. Saves you $5. If anybody just likes collecting up these things. So you get the AU and all 3 EFs. All right, moving on. Oh, Richard's been in the deal. Hey, Richard, if you want to sweeten up the deal, I'll throw in the other 3 pence, or the other 10 centavo for $3. Save you an extra $1. Cool. So last 10 centavo also going to Richard for a discount price. All right. All right, and last from USA Philippines, the 50 centavos. The BU one did go in pre-sale. But we do still have the EF for $10 and the AU for 11. Here's the EF. Here's the AU. EF reverse. AU reverse. AU going to Doug. Anybody want the EF? All right, moving on. Excuse me. All right, we are on to Indian cents. All right, so the only Indian cent that went in pre-sale was the 04. So I'm going to do these like I've been doing them lately. I'm going to link them all. And then as I show them, if there's a date you need or want, let me know. And just say Ben and the date or dates that you want. Because these are all $2 a piece. Got 1890 VG. $18.93 VG. 96 and good. 97 and good. 98 in VG. 99 and good. 1900 and good. 1901 good. 02 good. Or 02 VG rather. 1903 fine. 1905 good. 06 good. Oh, I lied. There's one that's $1. 07 good, but it's got a little bit of damage, so it's $1. Cheapskate dollar store and 1908 VG. Actually, scope's gonna be a lot easier on these. Here's the 93. Had that backwards apparently, because here's the 1890. $18.96. If anybody wants a bundle for every single one of these, I will do a bundle deal on these. 97, which you basically break down to a flat $1.50 each. 98. 99. 1900. 1901. 02. 3. 05. 6. 7. 08. Some nice Indian heads. Like, how nice are you talking? Because most of the nice Indian heads he has are in the many thousands of dollars each. Yeah, so if anybody wants all of them, it'd be $7 off. So me a flat $1.50 a piece. Hey, Fino. Yeah, the only reason we're on Friday this week is because yesterday was my wife's birthday. $40 to $60 range. Oh, for some of the dates, that would be an AG. All right, moving on. If anybody decides you want those, let me know. I shall. All right, next up, Barber Dimes. The Vino Bundle went in pre-sale. All right, kicking off Barber Dimes. These are some nicer barbers tonight, guys. Got the 1900S in VF, $28. I think that's focused. Anybody? VFs are pretty much about where you're at before the price on these things just skyrockets. All right, moving on. But did you have them in this good a grade? That's the question. Next up is 1905 Plain Date VF for $25. Yeah, that's why it's been a while since I've had barbers. You should grab all these, Richard. Grab these while they're available. All right, moving on. Here is one of only two EFs. 1906, extremely fine. Hey, plus you know me, if you get them all, I'll give you a little bit of a bundle deal. Anybody? $35 EF. If anybody's wondering what that line is, it's like a weird toning line. I think it's from an album. All right, moving on. To the 08S. VF, $28. Nice. Well, I mean, you got to remember, these are also, you know, VFs and EFs are when you're getting into the bit higher pricing. The cheap ones are the ones that are like the AGs and the goods. All right, moving on. To the 1911 VF for 20. Oh yeah, market's definitely going up. That's for sure. Definitely. It's pretty much across the board on all the old US. Prices be jumping. And then, of course, you know, a silver price goes up too. That adds to it. All right, moving on. To the 11 Denver. VF 25. Don't abandon it. Everybody knows that most people are not going to get the Uber key dates that are super expensive. All right, moving on. And here's the highest grade one of the night, 1912 Denver AU. $80. Yeah, definitely. I remember, here's an example of that, Richard. I used to be able to get walkers left and right. And yet now even walking Liberty halves are hard to get. Yeah, this is a Denver. 1912 Denver. D-Mint mark down there at the bottom. AU $80. Going to Richard. And Moose Sox, you wanted to see the 08S again? I can show it to you again. Here you go, Moose Sox. This is the 08S. This one is $28. Yeah, that's the way to do it, man. Long-term investment. Everything that you buy, just sit on it for 30 years. Oh, wait, that's going to Moose Sox. Was there any of the other dates on here that you needed, Moose Sox, for the barbers? We had the 1900S, the 1905 plain date, 06 plain date, 11 plain date, 11, no, 11S was sold, 11 Denver, And then this last one is the 12 plain date. Extremely fine. All right, here's the 12 extremely fine. 28 bucks. I'll show you the 1900S again here in a second. Consignment sale that's coming up. There's, I'm wanting to say 16 barber halves in that sale. That's on Tuesday the 20th. A few of those are over $100 just to prepare you guys though. Anybody on this one? Yeah, it's also the first time we've ever had two nuclear powers starting to fight with each other. So here's hoping that they don't use them. Surprised nobody's wanting these, man. These things are gorgeous. All right, you said 1900S Moose Socks. That's this one. 1900 San Francisco VF. 28 bucks. Yay or nay, sir? Did you want this one, Moose Socks? Hey, Kelly. A package for both the 05 and the 1900. Here's the 05. This one's 25 bucks. For these, yeah, I can do 50 bucks. So just drop this one down to 25. You got it. 50 bucks for both the 1900S and the 05. All right, that leaves, if anybody else wanted them, the 1911 plain date, the 12 plain date, the 11 Denver, and the 06. And I can do a bundle on them if anybody wants them. I'll knock 20 bucks off the top on these if anybody wants them as a bundle. You have a lot to pay already. Moving on. Next up. $18.76 seated Liberty quarter. 90% silver. It isn't a fine, but it does have scratches, so I have it priced as an about good at 40 bucks. And I do have wiggle room on that if anybody's interested in it and wants to make an offer. You can see right there on that side, the scratches. That's why I got a price that isn't about good. But it would be a fine details. How about 30? Anybody want it for 30? All right, moving on. All right, next up, I do have 3 barber quarters tonight. First one is the 08 Denver VF for 45. Have fun at work. Next stop, New Jersey. All right. And 1909 plain date VF for 45. Not looking, not looking. And the last one, 1909 Denver extremely fine 75. And here will be my crazy deal of the night. I will do all 3 of these at 120 bucks. That is $45 off. That makes it 30 bucks a piece for the 2 VFs and 60 bucks for the EF. Not doing quotas yet. Maybe now's a good time to start. Man, that is a screaming deal too, but all right, moving on. Right. Next up, I got 2 of these available. 1994 S silver proof quotas. $8 each. Gotcha. All right, moving on. Next up, 1975 Type 1 Ike dollar. BU for $3. Both quarters for 15. Yeah, I can do that. Both 94s going to West Side for 15. You're very welcome. Anybody? Whenever I get like a bunch of these in and they're like, you know, say they're like VFs or EFs, I like messing with people's heads at stores and going and paying for stuff with a bunch of these. Keep saying Ike's will be your next album. It's a cheap collection. The whole collection is under 300 bucks. Except for the, if you want the Type 2, what is it, the 72 Type 2? Is the only one that will add more to it. But other than that, you can get the whole collection for under 300. All right, moving on. All right, last 2 lots. 2004 and 2006 Sacagawea proofs. If anybody wants both, I'll do both for $6. Here's the 04. And there's the 06. And while you guys are looking at those, we'll start the recap. All right, banknotes, Cambodias, and Mongolias are still available. Anybody on the banknotes? All right, medallions. Everything except for the continental currency and the 2 John Adams. The bronze and the silver John Adams are sold, but everything else is still available. Anybody want to see any of the medallions? The silver ones or the non-silver? All right, World Silver. The 1901 5-cent Canada hold for $5 is still available. The 1910 10-cent for $8. It's in a good. Those are the only 2 Canadas still available. Anybody want either one of those? Got the 5-cent fish scale and a 10-cent. Yeah, I can do $4 on it, Doug. 5-cent going to Doug for $4. That just leaves the Canadian dime for $8. 1910 10-cent and good. All right. The 2002 and 2004 12 euros from Spain are both still available. Those are the 925 sterling silver coins. Anybody on those? All right, and the only other ones left are the 1966 $1 Bahamas, the 1780X Thaler, and the 1944S 50 Centavo. Oop, West Side's been in the Bahamas. Bahama gone. All right, so anybody on any of the other World Silver? Here's a quick look at them again. That's the 1910 10-cent King Edward. 45 50 centavo, or 44 has 50 centavo. EF. The Sailor 1780X. And the 2 Spain coins. The 12 euros. (2002) and 2004. So last call on any of the world silver. All right, Indian cents. Everything except for the 04 is still available. And I did a bundle deal for all of those for $7 off if anybody got all of them. There's 14 coins. Basically made them a flat $1.50 each. All right. And then Barber Dimes, the 1906 plain date EF, the 1911 plain date VF, the 11 Denver VF, and the 12 plain date EF are all still available. As is Seated Liberty quarter, the 3 Barber quarters, and the dollars. So anybody else on anything else? Last call. Okay. I'll keep an eye out for it. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here then. Everybody have a great night. Thanks for coming out. As always, give me a bit to get all the invoices out and everything. As always, I'm going to say if there's any way you guys can get the payments in by like Sunday night, I would appreciate it. That would really help me out. But all right, I will catch you guys all later.